They Don't Sleep is a zombie life simulator where you play as a new mother that must defend her house, fix her car, and keep her baby alive through an endless zombie attack. Now keep in mind, this is a budget game and I finished it in about an hour and a half. To win, you must keep ahead of all your needs and your baby's needs. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen, you have a food, rest, toilet, and stress relief bars, along with a baby's bars of food, comfort, and hygiene. If any of these needs go to zero, the game is over. But this is a roguelike, so the game actually resets, you're trapped in a time loop, and you get to try again. To keep your bars topped up, you must visit these stations in the house. You can see exactly what they do on the screen. You will have to pick up the baby, of course, to feed the baby at the ++ baby food station. It gives the baby food. At the toilet, you get toilet relief. But there's so much to do, and keeping these bars up is very stressful. The zombies are constantly attacking your house and damaging the fence around it, and you have to go out there and shoot them. The baby's crying definitely adds to the stress of everything, as well as if any of the bars get too low, the main character starts breathing heavy, and that's extremely distracting. It is a little weird that when zombies are attacking your house, you decide to take a break and get in the bath to relieve your stress as they knock down your fence. That all said, the gameplay is good, and I felt very stressed while playing. It almost feels as if you'll never get on top of getting all of those bars back up to green, especially once you get in a hole, you're just constantly trying to catch up. And you're keeping those bars up while you have to go into town and do supply runs. You'll have to collect the parts the truck needs to be repaired. There's many parts you have to get, and they have a weight to them, so you can't get one every time you go. You will have to also collect food and baby formula to feed yourself and the baby, and keep all your supplies going, especially ammo. So it's really a game about managing all of your bars, and when you can leave the house, I often left the baby at home alone with the zombies. They took very good care of the baby. It's a little weird you can leave the baby at home alone with the zombies outside, but I guess they're fine, they don't have any needs, and you run a lot quicker without them, so I always left that baby at home. Now, what makes They Don't Sleep a roguelike? Well, it's your level. You keep your level between dying or each run, as it were. You can see the stats you can level up on the screen right now. You get 1 point for each level you gain. There's no real strategy here. Every point you spend will make some part of the game a little easier. So every time you die, you restart and keep that level, and that means every run after that, you have it a little bit easier. You can shoot the zombies a little more accurately. You can cook a little bit more. You can carry that much back from the town. Of course, if you keep leveling up your stats, you will eventually beat the game because everything ends up being so much easier. I'm not so sure I like how that works, because it takes away all the stress from the game. You know that enough times you will win. If you die, well, you know next time you have a much greater chance of winning. I tried to push myself to complete the game in as few runs as possible, but there's nothing included in the game to force you to do that, not even an achievement. Moving on to New Game Plus, and honestly there isn't much to say. It's more of the same. It's the layout of the house, as you can see, is a little different, so you have to readjust that, but in some ways I actually think it's a little easier. Especially since the level you had from the previous New Game carries over to New Game Plus, which makes sense story-wise, but doesn't necessarily give the player a proper New Game Plus. Overall, They Don't Sleep is good, and it's a good budget title. You have to keep that in mind. If you're able to push yourself to complete the game with as few restarts as possible, then it can be fun. It's fairly stressful, and I was getting annoyed this character wasn't getting enough rest as they were sleeping in the bed. Just get the rest so I have other stuff to do. I kind of wish there was a reward for finishing the game with few restarts, or I wish the developer would tell us how few restarts they're able to complete it in, so I had something to compete against, but that might be my nature. Well, at least that was an interesting zombie game, but did you know I have a Steam curator you can follow to get my recommendations right in Steam? It's extremely useful. There's a link to it right in the description.